Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, all set up, all good. Although I really feel like I've forgotten something. Well, good evening. It's evening for me, I should specify. It is a lot later than I normally start doing streams, so this is probably going to be a short one for that reason. Yeesh. I don't really know what happened. I thought I'll have a small nap. I'll lay down for like a few minutes. It'll be fine. And I snap awake. It's been 4 hours. Yeah, that just happens sometimes. It's fine. It's fine. My stance on naps has changed of late, and I have no idea what caused it. Probably a lack of sleep. Probably a lack of sleep. Now the real question is, what did I do with the reference picture that I'd nabbed? Okay, I'm gonna have to use a slightly different one than I was originally planning, but that's fine. That's fine. I had lots of big grand plans for today, and nope. It's a nope sort of day, which is fine. Get out my pen. I should grab music as well. Hopefully I'll be able to gauge the volume okay as well. That feels a bit loud. Is that still a bit loud or is that quiet? I don't know. That feels better. Let's go with that, and hopefully that's not too loud. Ugh. Actually, that reminds me, I wanted to test a couple of bits and pieces with this pen specifically. Yeah, because it doesn't have like size change. I'm wondering if I can adjust that so that way it kind of does. Is it the shape? No. Starting and ending? Oh, I don't know. Half of this stuff is all really complicated. I'll come back to it. It doesn't need to change. Honestly, it's probably better that it doesn't, but I wanted to see if that was possible. And presumably it is, but I don't know what the setting is in order to do that, so I'll come back to that, I guess. If I come back to it, I mean absolutely forget in about 10 minutes, and then it will just be gone from my brain forever. And in like 2 years, I'll come back and be like, oh yeah, that was a thing I was gonna do. Huh. I wonder why I never did that. And then the same thing will repeat itself. I'm trying to get a mental image before I start wiggling anything. I could go in with a pencil and just kind of try and map it out a little bit. I might do that because my brain is suffering right now for some reason. What do I want their arms to be doing? Oh no, I know what I need to do. Because he always sits like that. Do I want him to be like fully splayed out, or do I want him to be kind of cross-legged? I think I might go with cross-legged. No, because he's got like the belt, hasn't he? And he's got his heck little thing. Why do you like this, Avatar? Do I do it like that, or do I do it a little bit more like... I guess that's fine. Working out poses and what have you can be quite challenging, even when I just want to do like a little doodly type bits and pieces. It can pay to work out the poses beforehand. Is that what I want his arms to be doing? I feel like that's almost more of an outer pose. Working things out. I don't have such long legs. I think everything else will be fine, so I can just roll with that. way down there? Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of thinking involved in this one for some reason. Jeez. It can be good to immerse myself, though. It's been quite a week. Do I want to like roll these up or anything? I don't think so. I think they're fine as they are. I'll say I might bring his arm in actually. Oh, the woes of choice. Oh! Awoo! Hello, puppy! Thank you for the resub, puppy. Awoo to you too! How are you doing? How was your nap? I'm having the latest stream ever. Oops, I did not mean to copy it. That's not helpful, is it? I also need to make this whole segment bigger. Yeah. You snuzz. You snuzz. That's reasonable. I've had such a day today. So many ups and downs and roundabouts. I fear my mood is not nearly as good as it should be. Oh well. Need resting? I do. I need like 10,000 times the amount of rest that I've been able to get the last few days. But that's fine. Helps to remember that this dumbass here is like not completely Ellison. There he is. Yes, I see you sniffering me. I see you doing a sniffer snuffer. Yes, I love you too. There he is. Look at this dumbass. I love him. No! You're a cutie. I love Silver, but he does look like an owl sometimes. Don't tell him I said that. I think he'd eat me. To adjust things. Why are you vibrating? Puppy. It's too warm again. I've been having a whole time today. I have a jumper and I have been taking it on and off all day. Like, I woke up and I was like, oh man, it's freezing, so I put on a jumper. And then an hour later I was like, oh man, it's melting, so I took off the jumper. And then an hour after that I was like, oh man, it's really, whew, it's boiling today, so I took off the jumper. I've just been on and off with this jumper. Oh dear. Is it just me, or does Silver have vampire vibes? Maybe it's just me. So on... Okay, let me provide some context for these two here that I'm currently doing a silly little doodle of. These two are characters from Final Fantasy XIV. They're OCs, they're original characters that me and my friend Esmond made. And there's a sale on to do with that today. So they are forefront of my brain because I went ahead and got this idiot here a backflip. And I'm very excited about it. It's very dumb. Backflip is the best emote, you can't change my mind. Play dead though. Play dead, puppy. Play dead. Also consider Dote. Me and Sandy were having a conversation about this the other day. We were talking about like, oh, well, it's like, oh, this is the best emote, this is the best emote. And then we both just looked at each other and I was like, Dote. And he was like, Dote. Nothing compares to being able to just slide a heart at people. Actually. You're biased. You're very biased. Ooh, puppy, that reminds me. I also picked up Pantomime for Radish, and you need to see it. His little facial expressions are the cutest thing in the world. I can't. It's very cute. As a very important side note, I have also been sneezing a lot today. It's my own fault. I went outside and I decided to go sit on my little deck that I have. But in order to get there, I have to walk past all of these plants, which are all currently just shedding everywhere. There's so much pollen in all capacities, and I had to walk right through it. So my entire being is like, there's a lot. So, you know, I'm fine. It's fine. His little boots are so cute. Oh, thank you. Thank you, puppy. Is it wise for you to be sniffing up all that pollen? Just saying, is that wise? That doesn't seem wise. Ah, yeah, there he goes. Bless you, puppy. Cute little bean. I might be better off just starting from this end, actually. What is one leg? You're considering what to have for dinner. Ooh, what options are you toying with? I'm going to have fried noodles myself. I have them pre-soaked. That doesn't feel right either. Silver, do you have a bottom? I do not know. Ah, the infinite dilemma. Could you order something like healthier and or cheaper, perhaps? Or, alternatively, could you cook something really, like, you don't have to stand there and keep an eye on it kind of thing? Like, for me, that's always throwing something in the oven. Is that how do legs work? Sure. I don't really have any options like that either way. Ugh.
Hey, Belly!
Ugh.
Belly, you should drink some water!
Oh, I should drink, probably. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a big tractor. Wave to the tractor. Bye, tractor. Going home for the day. Ugh. You need to get some, like, you need some oven options, puppy. No, no, Tracy, no. Bad. Terrible. Terrible, I say. Okay, hang on. I've got a thought. I just have a disembodied leg. We love a good disembodied leg in this household. Yes, we do. Actually, wait. No, I need to adjust that. Because of course I do. That's better. Some poses really do cause me such grief. Remove? No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not removing any limbs. It was just temporarily relocated. It's fine. Now, elongating limbs. Nothing new there. Put him on the rack, boys. No. Oh dear. Terrible. Alright, need to shimmy them both over a little bit. Oh, I didn't get a picture. Do I need a picture of a Moogle? I feel like I know what a Moogle looks like, vaguely. Yes, a woo-woo to you too. Oh, I'm such low energy today. There's no energy in me. I'm like a limp noodle. But that's okay. Sometimes you just are a limp noodle, you know? Actually. Oh no, he's bald. No, he's fine. It was temporary. Stop! You're awful. You are fully awful. How dare you? 0 out of 10. Delete the puppy. Oh dear. Do Muggles have noses? I feel like they have noses. You're fine. Fine. Undo button on deleting the puppy. You're lucky you're my favourite puppy. You're very, very lucky. Yes, I love you too. Oh wait, hang on. His trousers have this really interesting little floofy bit. Meow. Meow. These cuties. Also, I almost feel like this should be like behind him or something. It looks very janky like that, but I think that is what I'm gonna do. These heckin' cuties. You're gonna order. Honestly? Fair. You've been suffering today. I would order if I could. I cannot. But if I could, I would. I might have garlic bread. Noodles and garlic bread is a really weird combination, but that's kind of where I'm leaning. Managed to get an £8.50 side for free? Oh snap! Coupons? Was it coupons? You like coupons. There we go, much better. Restaurant is doing a spend X and get one of these free. Oh snap! Fair. Do you like kimchi? I don't remember. Presumably you do, considering you ordered some, but I don't know. I have been hydrating a lot today, so I need to pee. So I will be right back. Where is my little BRB button? There it is. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Okay, what did I miss? You've only tried it once, but you didn't love it. That's fair. But have another shot. That's also fair. Katsu curry with extra chicken, side of noodles, and kimchi, and chili oil, and some free squid balls. Thank you. Ah, let me know how they all are. They sound very tasty. Honestly, I kind of feel like it's supposed to be this size. I probably should have drawn it smaller. But, oh well. I accidentally drew those on the wrong layer. Come here. Better. You think they need a puppy friend? They already have one. He's the Pickle Moogle. Do you know the story of the Pickle Moogle? I feel like I need to tell you the story of the Pickle Moogle. Because the whole idea is that this guy here, Silver, saved the Moogle's life. We don't know how yet. I haven't figured that one out. Shrug. There was some capacity in which he saved the Moogle. And the Moogle was like, oh my gosh, I need to repay this man a life debt. So the Moogle continued to just follow him around. Despite him trying to get it to shoo and go away. And it finally got to the point where Silver encountered Aota, which is my boy. And the Moogle was like, oh, well, he's kind of safe now. He's got a friend and stuff. I could potentially leave. That would be fine. And then Aota had the brilliant idea of feeding it. And now they can't get rid of it at all, because Aota gives it snacks. Most specifically, the first thing he gave it was a pickle. I don't know why he had a pickle. I don't have the context for this. I don't know why he just had a jar of pickles on him at the time. That's what this is. I genuinely have no idea why he had a jar of pickles. But he did, for some ungodly reason. For some ungodly reason he had pickles. And he gave one to the Moogle, and the Moogle was like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life. And that was it. They couldn't shake it after that. So they're essentially being followed by this Moogle, because of the fact that Aota keeps feeding it. It hasn't crossed his mind that this might potentially be a problem. The upside is that it has come up that you can bribe the Moogle. It's very bribable. So they've found ways of bribing it with pickles as opposed to just letting it run amok. So that's good. They're such a pair. These idiots. I feel like I need to redo Silver's eyes. They're not sitting right with me. That's better. Yeah. Could never bribe a puppy. No, you're right. You're infallible, obviously. On an unrelated note, puppy sit for Trito? Yes? If you sit, you get a Trito. Get a Trito and get to be a good boy. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, let me... Trito for puppy. You're welcome. Oh dear. Ah, you sniffed it all up. You sniffed up the Trito. Delimsions. That's all the grass and stuff, right? Yeah. Your order got cancelled? Oh no! What happened? That's so rude. Guess they closed? Ugh. Ugh, that's so disappointing. That's so disappointing. How dare. How dare. Such betrayal from my poor puppy. Alright, well, what are you gonna have instead? Well, you're just gonna have to browse. You're just gonna have to do a browse. Small pants for puppy. Always sucks when your order gets cancelled, especially when you're like, ah, I've placed the order, I'm good, I'm ready to get snackos, and then it's like, no, denied. Always the worst. Are there any other places that do that sort of thing? Perhaps? Perhaps? Was it transparent watercolour that I was using? Quite likely. Alright. I'm gonna get a burger. Ooh, burgie. I can sense your disappointment. It's okay. Sometimes that's just be how it goes, you know? I bet it'll be a very good burger at least. I should probably section these properly. Alright, let's see. I think I might need to colour match these after the fact. I'm gonna have a go and we'll just sort of see what happens. Poor little puppy with the sad face. You'll be fine. He has some great ones, I think. Oh, yeah, there you go. The grey is not difficult to colour match at all. Are we surprised? No. Well, that's very pink. That's fine, I'll fix it later. Oh, look at these little cuties. I love these guys. Especially this dumbass here. And I'm allowed to call him that. One, because I designed him, so it's my doing. And two, because he has maybe a single brain cell to his name, he's doing his best. And I love him for it. He would also absolutely take that as a compliment. Which I think is great. What other colours do you have going on for you, sir? Sword. Or, well, stick, I should say. This man can't afford a sword. Oh, wait. He has one gill, singular, at all times. He has a whole brain cell. Why wouldn't this be a compliment? Exactly! See, you understand. I love him. He is fully one step away from not quite having object permanence. Like, you could do that thing that you can do with babies where you hold up like a blanket and you're like, oh no, where did mummy go? And they're like, oh, I don't know, they're gone! And you drop the blanket and you're like, haha! They're like, holy moly! Like that. He's one step away from that. He was having a conversation with somebody and they stood up on top of a stair while he wasn't looking. And he looked back and he was like, oh my gosh, you've grown a whole 5 inches. What the heck? And it didn't occur to him that they got on top of a stair. Somehow it never dawned on his brain. And then he encountered them a little bit later, like maybe 15 minutes later, and they weren't on the stair. And he was like, oh, you shrunk. Are you okay? Did something happen? It's like, oh no. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's dumb, but he's a good boy. Dear. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do... here somewhere. There it is. Actually, I might just toggle that off for a moment so I can copy that same colour. I should go with white first, actually. Oh, I could have just cheesed it in dumb white. Easy. Make everything harder for myself, it's fine. Not in your porb! Not in your porb! You only have 4 of those. 4 of those? 4 of those. What are you gonna do? think he might actually be lighter than this, but I'm gonna roll with this anyway and adjust afterwards. Yeah, I really feel like he's lighter than this. Oh well. Oh, that's right, actually. Now that I've done that colour. There we go. This boy has a smattering of that colour across him. There we go. Stop! You're awful. Oh dear. Also, no gnawing the paw. I'll put the cone on you. I'll do it. I'm not above this. I need to do the highlights on Erto's hair. I've gone with a different brush because the other one just is not quite bright enough. There we go, much better. You're not stuck. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, puppy. You'll live. So dramatic. Let's see. The upside is that whatever color I do, I
Very
can
well.
change.
I will allow it. Fight with honor.
Flirty Mango! That's an amazing name. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Ooh, that's a much better color, actually. love the names that people come up with. People are so creative. You're not allowed to eat the mango. Bad. Don't you sad face at me. None of that. How are you doing today, Mango? How is everything? You're not wasting away, you'll be fine. Oh dear. I don't normally stream this late, but I had the world's longest nap, so there you go. It's been one of those days. Don't you splat? Terrible. Doing great, trying to decide if you should do chores or write comic books. Oh. Can you multitask? A chore, a bit of comic book. A chore, a bit of comic book. I do some, something. Okay, weird thing I do, right? Whenever I'm doing chore-related bits and pieces, is that I'll usually start a painting. Not a digital painting, a traditional painting. And I'll do like a piece of the painting. And then obviously I have to wait for it to dry. So while it's drying, I'll do some cleaning, some sorting out, I'll organise some stuff. And by the time I've done that thing that I meant to go off and do, I'll go back and be like, oh cool, that bit's dry, I can do the next part, and rinse and repeat. It's a surprisingly functional way of doing paintings. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my light on. Oh, that's better. I can actually see now. There are other bits and pieces like that that I do as well. But the most common one is an ice painting, because I tend to do a lot of watercolour-y type paintings. I mostly use gouache, which is opaque watercolours, which is watercolours but denser, so, you know. But they don't actually take that long to dry, they take maybe, at most, 2 to 3 minutes. It does not take long for it to dry, even when I use a lot of water. But I find that if you let it dry thoroughly, so 5 to 10 minutes, instead of, like, 3 to 5 minutes. So if you give it like an extra 10 minutes or similar, it dries a little bit better, and then you have a lot more leeway as to like layering over the top and things like that, so. I put too much thought into this. You just have to empty the dishwasher. Oh, that's just a mood though. That's just a mood though. I just wait until something really important and sensitive is looming and then do all my housework in one go. Puppy, please. I say these are the best way to procrastinate by cleaning, but don't have to do those anymore. At least you don't have to do them anymore. That's nice. That's always a win, right? Anything else purple on this boy? No, I don't think so. Alright. Now I don't know how to clean my house. You'll have to set your own essays. Tang! Hello, Tang. Finally some sustenance. Puppy. Terrible. I also think of you as soul food. That got a physical face palm. Bravo. Physical face palm for that one. Oh dear. Dear. I feel like I should put in some context as to who these two really are. I've explained this, but I haven't really explained who these two are in particular. This boy is possibly the only elf I actually own, which I think is hilarious. Because it's the only elf I've ever made, and kept at the very least. And he is profoundly stupid, and it's great. He has one brain cell, and he's the goodest boy you will ever meet. Not only a mental, but a physical facepalm. I've choose what I came to do. Peace. Look never Tang. Why are you reeing at the game, puppy? What did you do? What happened? What occurred? These two are two elves, a high elf monk, and a drow sorcerer worshipping Lolth? Is that how you pronounce that? Set to like a good lad before he will inevitably sacrifice his high elf friend. Ah, Tang, please. Tang, please. Well, you're not completely miles away as like a whole, but also please. So a quest marker in the middle of nowhere. You went and did the quest, and then you went back to the main settlement to pick up more quest, and the NPC was like, hey, can you go talk to my uncle who lives in the middle of nowhere who you definitely just spoke to? Yeah, that happens. Don't worry too much. And then I need just like a nice low brown, I guess. No, I think a second layer needs to be darker. These two are such polar opposites. It's adorable. Honestly, it's very sweet that they're friends. say it's kind of a miracle of coincidence that these two are friends at all. Because this boy, my sweet boy Aoto, he came over from the Far East, spent all of his money to get over from the Far East, did not think ahead of time to bring more money or to pack things. He showed up with nothing and was like, yeah, I'm gonna explore Eorzea, it'll be great. He hasn't regretted it so far, which is kind of an achievement in itself. But he existed for maybe a week, I'm gonna say, before he ran into this guy. And this guy is called Silver, and bless his heart, he was so ready for Aoto to just punch him in the nose. Because Aoto comes sprinting up to him, and then immediately is just like, hello, new friend! Just like a big Labrador. Silver's just there like, what are you? Which is adorable. It's pretty much entirely at Aoto's doing that they're friends. Because if Silver had had his way, they would have encountered each other once and then probably never again. Because, you know. Aoto, on the other hand, is like, hey, archer buddy, archer pal, archer friend, sparkles aggressively. And then proceeds to just refer to him as that every single time they encounter each other, to the point where if he sees him across a room, he will sprint across the room in order to say hello. He really is just a Labrador. They also did not exchange words correctly for the first probably month of their friendship. Silver said maybe 1 or 2 words, never actually said his name. And Aoto was just like, cool, archer friend it is, and just never thought about it any further. Again, this boy has like a brain cell to his name. He's trying. Let me turn this off for a brief moment. So I've missed some spots, I've noticed. That's better. Why are you sniffering me, puppy? I do not have any snackos for you. I know you're hungry. I'm also pretty peckish, to be honest. Actually... Oops. Those are the boots, right? Yeah. Yeah, because he also has that. I love their polar opposite colour schemes as well. Because Aoto's entire colour setup that he has, he's all really light, bright yellows and whites. Even his hair, which is predominantly black, has these really bright yellow highlights in it. And then you have Silver, who is all greys and dark purples. Like, the lightest feature he has on him is his eyes, and you can't see that in this drawing at all. It fits their personalities as well, because Aoto is bubbly and not very bright. He's very dumb, bless him. And then Silver is very intelligent and very quiet. Aoto does all the talking for them. So it does fit them. like it.
Hey, Bally! Bally, you should drink some water!
Oh, thanks, Sandy. I will do that. Thank you, Tang. Thank you, Puppy. I am so bad at hydrating. Goodness. Yes, I got the hint. Fine, I'll have another sip just for you. Oh dear. Puppy, please. No, I'm not going to drown. I refuse to take all the sippies.
Hey, Bally! Bally, you should drink some water!
No, I shouldn't. I'm fine. I don't need any more water. Dear. Please. Have you had any water lately? The worst. Dear. Awful. Awful, I say. Alright, let's see. I think that's both boys done. I think they're good. They're very cute. I need to remind myself to return it back to 73. So I'll just put that there. I really like this brush. It blends with its surroundings really quickly, which is honestly pretty fun. don't lick the brush. All you'll taste is plastic, actually, because digital. So yeah, I don't really know what you were expecting from that one. I'm going to be honest. Honestly, this kind of feels like painting. I'm kind of enjoying it, actually. I need to give this brush a little bit more credit, because it's pretty good, actually. He's a good brush. That's pretty good. Alright. Oh, I like this. I like this. I like how this all works. It's so cozy, it is. Needs more bloodshed. Tang, please. I might make that more yellow, actually. Oh yeah, that's much better. Oh, Puppy has food. You finally has something to eat, huh? I should have drawn his bow. I'm gonna finish my current train of thought, and then we'll go back in and I'll do his bow. Moogle palms red? I swear they're red. No, they're yellow, aren't they? Are they yellow? When was the last time I looked at a Moogle? Puppy, you've been hanging out with Moogles recently. Are they red? Ah, I'm gaslighting myself. Okay, so they are red. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I need to freaking hang on. I haven't looked at a Moogle in so long. Okay, yes. Okay, alright. Okay. I got the nose slightly off. Right kind of idea, though. So where is Pikupo? Where are you? There we go. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a reference, you know? Oh, and the wings are purple rather than pink. Okay, need to remember that. Also, the palms of the Moogles in 14 are not red, they're orange. Well, you know. I'll make it sort of this reddy orange and we'll just go with that. Although I think specifically the one he has actually is yellow. Yeah, because specifically that Moogle has a yellow one. Right, and then I need... Or the lid can just be silver, that's fine. There we go. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. Just fully forgot what Moogles look like. I own a Moogle. You'd think I'd remember this, but nope. Nope, apparently not. Where are the wings? There are the wings. You're right there, puppy. Do you finally have food in your tummy? Okay, back in here we go. And we are doing a bow. There we go. Better. just need to actually colour these in. You're not a messy eater, but that specific burger that you love turns you into a toddler. Not even out of feralness, it's just so messy. Burgers are like that sometimes, though. Burgers are like that sometimes, though. I don't remember the exact like list of ingredients that I had for it, but there is this one like sandwich that I make occasionally. I'm pretty sure it was like a brioche bun with like slightly toasted, with I'm pretty sure it was lettuce and like a fried egg. And God, that thing just gets everywhere. It was really good though. 1 second, I need to close my window because it is dark. It's dark now. I can't see anything. Ugh. Well, I can't see anything out there, I should say. There we go. It's like these really light coloured arrow tips. There we go. Lovely. Oh, that's right. I wanted to put this back to 73. There we go. Look how cute these boys are. Heckin' cuties. This was normally not get burgers with much, if any, sauce, but the one's all about the sauce. Ooh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. They're good lads. I think I want to add in... I spied something I want to add. I think I want to add in more of these little flowers. I'm not adding puppy. Puppy, please. There we go. Yeah. Don't you howl? Don't you howl? Please. Please. Why are you like this? Is this really necessary? terrible puppy. Was that money well spent? Was that really money well spent? That's not no Tang. Do not side with the puffer. How dare you? I feel so betrayed right now. Do not do the other one. Do not. Bad. Hi, Sandy! Doing pallets for here to give loves. Thank you for the support. Good luck in Palace. Try not to die. Thank you. Oh, tell the armor boys I love them. Thank you. Tang, no. Not try and get Sandy on your side as well. How dare you? How dare you? Please. Here we go again. Waffle. Hello, Misko. I don't know if my bot's active, actually. Is my bot active? Bot? No, it's not active. There you go, Misko. It should be active now.
Hey, Bally! Bally, you should drink some water!
Fine, I'll have a drink. Thank you for the hydrate reminder, Misko. I appreciate it. Also, puppy, please. I'm going to drown. You don't have Miskob here. No. You just have Misko. You have Misko here. Oh, puppy is rotating. What? Why exactly is the puppy rotating? Oh, and oh. Oh dear. You better not be trying to distract me.
Hey, Bally! Bally, you should drink some water!
I don't. Sandy! Please! 3 commands in total. Miss Go is your most common. Miss Gob is uncommon. Miss Got is unique to only one channel. Huh. What do each of them do? With all due respect, puppy, you are the most distracting thing. Always. Oh, thank you, Misko. Just doing a cute doodle of elf boys today. The elf lads. The scope is about giving everyone a hug that wants one. That makes sense. You know exactly what I mean, puppy. None of that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's got as a titles intro. Huh. Oh, look at you! Fair. I kind of want to go over the trees again. I'm not completely sure why exactly, but I just have this urge. I'm probably gonna make them a bit more transparent than this, but where the urge is taking me this far. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. Especially the short version here, where I demanded that I had cute the titles. Ah, yes, I remember that. I remembered it. Man, I have such a thing for drawing foliage. Once I figured out the tricks to foliage, now that's just the thing I do all the time. Love me a bit of foliage. These are very yellow. I'm just wondering if I should make them a little bit less yellow. Just to kind of offset it. So I really like the yellow, but it's very like just consumed by the background kind of color. Subtle, but I like it. You can send a long version. My neighbor's toddler is screeching. Oh no. You'd really think they'd like, I don't know, learn to soothe them or something? Terrible. Oh, it's great that that one of the games I'm after is on sale. Except for the part where I just spent all of my money, because there's also a sale on Final Fantasy XIV. Which is also coincidentally why I'm drawing these two. There's my good boy here. My sweet lad here. Finally got some emotes that he's been waiting for. Some neighbor was screeching just an hour ago. It's not a toddler. Oh no. Going with the tried and tested method of ignoring her until she falls asleep after hours of streaming. I mean, that's terrible parenting. I'm gonna be honest. It's terrible. I get that there's a degree of learning how to self-soothe, which is really important. But also, that's dumb. They're a toddler. Please. They don't know how. You're supposed to teach them, you as the adult. See, I was a very polite kid, but I do have memories of the couple of times where I did make noise. My mum always just asked me things, and that shut me down immediately because I was like, oh man, I don't know. I haven't considered that. That never crossed my mind, conceptually. That was enough. That would work every time. She just had this great line about trying on other people's coats when I was mimicking things that I'd seen other people do. It was interesting. Just get frustrated they don't immediately know or understand. Yeah, but like... Yeah, you can help them learn to not get super frustrated. You can help them learn that. That is a thing you can do. Effort though, I suppose. Oh my gosh. Misker. Oh dear. My goodness, that is quite a list of titles you have. Oh dear. I approve. You is puppy. That is true. That is true. The two longest lasting nicknames that you have had. Reno and Puppy. Which makes sense, they both fit you immaculately. How many nicknames you've ever been given. Eh, you're not wrong. Managed after a few times to say it without mistakes, although a bit slow. She had to breathe in air twice. She did it faster once with only one extra airtime, but she did a mistake. Oh my goodness. It is a long list of titles, to be fair. So it makes sense. thought of something that I'd like to do, actually. Hang on. This is why I like to, even though this is by all means finished, I like to sit and kind of contemplate for a little while.
Me? Gungaga.
Me too, buddy. Me too. There we go. It's a lot better with a little bit of depth. And on the other list, but she and stuff in the chat wanted it longer. I approve. So I didn't get my squid. Aww. Next time. Next time. Half the time it's not even me using the command, it's someone else. Oh, I approve. It's cute. It's cute. What I really need to do is I need to find the Ross that I did. There we go. Much better. Maybe next time your order got cancelled, hand of burger instead. Yeah. To curry and noodles and squid balls. Burger was good, then you're excited. Makes sense. Squids have balls? Not anymore. Oh my gosh, guys, please. Guys, please. Oh dear. If you want a squid balls command, Misko, I refuse. Trying to work out if that's everything I want to do. damn good. Need to sit and look at it for a few minutes. I can decide if it's worthy. Alright. Yeah, I can add that as a command. I'm chill with that. Give me a moment. Although I don't have, like, Best TV or anything turned on, so I don't know whether or not those emotes will work. But we can find out. Those are official Twitch ones. Oh, alright. They should work. They should, in theory, work then. There you go, Misko. It should be added. There is a $sign. I do not know why there is a $sign, because there is not in any of my bits and pieces. Hucking the $sign does seem a little bit greedy. It does. Have another go, Misko. See if that one works. Yeah, okay. It doesn't like there being a emote at the start for some reason. That's interesting. Okay. Try one more? I'm testing something. That's the other one. That one's fine. Hey, there we go. Okay. I fixed it. It likes there to be a space at the beginning for some reason. So, there you go. You're welcome. I want to slide in something silly. Hang on. There we go. He's sparkly now. As he should be. Look at these little cuties. Cuties, I say. The co-link on stream should be moved to one of the top sides instead. Oh, probably, actually. That would be smart. I, by default, have it down in that corner, because I have everything piled into there. Hang on. Where is my little thing? I honestly haven't even thought about it in eons. It's also because it has a little pop-up, believe it or not. But I can move it around. You know, much easier to see. This goes very smart with frozen fish stick brain. Oh dear. Now then, where was I? Okay, if you link should be in the middle of the screen with a height. Well, if you insist. Did you know I have a Ko-fi, you guys? Did you know I have a Ko-fi? Oh, you can't sit. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. Hang on. Hang on. There you go. How's that? It's as big as I can get it. Dear. A bit small, but it's readable. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I should add another one. What do you mean add another one? Hold on, let me... Is there even an option to like duplicate this? Okay. Better? Is that better? Is that better, you guys? Okay, no, I'm removing these. Oh dear. Alright, let me just go away. Okay. Oh dear. You guys are ridiculous. Nope. There we go. How will anyone know to buy you a coffee yet? I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to just figure it out. Oh dear. Ridiculous. Top right is better? Alright. I will shimmy it over there. Nice and clear. Oh. Is that left? Okay. Let me give you context for this. My left and right was already wonky. It got amplified tenfold because I've been working on a project where everything that I label as left and right has to be inverted. So you're right. The other side was more correct. I am also sleepy. Goodness. Alright, I think we're done. After all those shenanigans and ridiculousness, I think we're good. I need to still have some energy in order to make myself something to eat, so... Even that lefts and rights perfect every time. We're not talking about my failure to emote in the right direction. My constant failures of east and west. You'll be fine. What are we streaming for the next 4 hours? A blank screen. That's what we're streaming for the next 4 hours. Oh dear. Ridiculous. So exciting. I know, it's going to be exhilarating. You're going to be gripping onto your seat. Oh dear. Alright, on that note, thank you all for joining me and for keeping me company. And for generally vibing with me and just, you know, having a good time while I'm creating things.
Me? Gungaga.
Thank you, puppy. Oh dear. Thank you all for popping in. I'm glad you managed to make a little bit, Miska. Oh dear. That was good. I finished a whole little thing. It was fun. We will be back again next week. I need to think about what day I'm going to do next week. I might try this day again and attempt to get in earlier because goodness me, it was late today. So I might have another shot. Another shot at Thursday. But I'll attempt to do it earlier. And we'll go from there. So, thank you all for keeping me company. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Miska, please. And I'll see you guys next week.